Hello, hi. Welcome to your favorite Makoti podcast, Makoti Unveiled. I'm your host, the resident Makoti, Siya Tsewu. Thank you so much for joining us. And on today's episode, we're talking about infidelity. You agree with your partner to be exclusive. You guys are monogamous. And then all of a sudden, this person decides to go astray. What do you do then? That's the conversation we're having today. We're talking about infidelity in marriage. And we're joined by a registered counselor, Miss Shamiso Gusha. Madam, how are you?
I'm well, thanks. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, she's going to help us get into the real nitty gritties of how this impacts on a person's psychological state. So it's not just wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, or is it?
Not at all. Definitely not at all. Infidelity has a lot of impact on the person, especially the person who's been cheated on. There is a lot that goes through their mind. They begin to suffer from low self-esteem, PTSD, depression. All those things can come across when someone has been cheated on.
But Shami, so it didn't mean anything. I love you. So what I did with the other person was just sex.
Really? It didn't mean anything.
No,
but
it was just a physical thing.
What happened to our vows? What happened to the promises we made to each other to be monogamous? So that now a person begins to question themselves. Like, okay, if it didn't mean anything, what were you looking for? Was it the 5 minutes of delight? And you can't tell me it's a mistake. A mistake, I wake up, I drive to your place, I undress. It's still a mistake.
It's not what it looks like.
Yeah, I still undress. We have the act, and then the weirdest part is if I hadn't got caught, would I have admitted that I did this? You see.
Do many people wait until they're caught before they admit to, stepping out of their marriage?
Yes, definitely. They will not admit it openly.
Okay.
So if they get caught, now it's like, oh my gosh, I made a mistake. Very few people will admit. And if they do admit, maybe it's the guilt sitting in. So it's genuinely like I went out because I thought I would find something better, or because even the perpetrator sometimes may be going through stuff. Not that it justifies them cheating. They may be going through what they're going through, and then they cheat, and then they'll come and say, I'm sorry, this is what I did. But it's very rare. It's usually someone gets caught, and then they're running around like trying to find excuses for what they've done.
We were actually having a conversation off screen, and we were talking about, does it matter if it was not a physical interaction? So can people cheat emotionally? Is emotional cheating as big of an issue as physical cheating? Can you explain that for our viewers, please?
Yes, emotional cheating is you've got your partner, you have conversations, you talk about everything, ideally, and your partner then goes to share the intimate stuff with someone else. It leaves you stuck, like, why couldn't you talk to me about it? Why couldn't we discuss it? So you're already taking a part of our relationship to someone else. You understand? So you're left thinking, am I not good enough? Is it that I don't listen? What's the issue? So rather, whatever it is, emotional, physical, let's talk about it. Let's do it between the two of us.
I can imagine that once a person has been cheated on, they are left with a lot of questions. From, was I not satisfying you in the bedroom? Was I not as domesticated as you would have liked? Do I not cook nice food? Do you not like the decor in our home? Maybe. I mean, it could be a host of things that they're questioning themselves about. What would you say to somebody who's really trying to figure out what they did wrong to cause the cheater to cheat?
Okay. First of all, it's not your fault. That goes without saying. It's not your fault. Yes, there are things that you may have been doing, or there are things that may not have been right in the house. You could have been going through whatever you're going through. You might not have been wanting to have sex. You might not be doing something that your partner expects you to be doing, but it doesn't justify them going to cheat. Because quite often when someone cheats, the partner is thinking, wait, but weren't we okay? You know, someone cheats and they still come home and they're like, hey, babe, I'm home. They kiss you high. Everything is going fine. You go on holiday, you do all those things, but someone is having an affair on the side. Goes on and you're thinking everything is fine. And then you later find out that,
Sure.
oops, they've been seeing someone by the side. You begin to question yourself like, what was I doing wrong? Where did I go wrong? Is it because like you're saying, am I not domesticated enough? Or can't I cook? Or do I need this? You start questioning yourself. You're just going to put yourself into a hole of depression, which is not necessary, because at the end of the day, if your partner is not satisfied about something, they should communicate. Get help. If you can't communicate, the two of you, if you're fighting when you're trying to talk, whatever it is, get help. If you can't agree, the two of you, get outside help.
Now, let's say one party cheats. It is discovered. There's a conversation, whether it's just a conversation between the couple or the families or therapy, whatever. And then they find their way back to each other. Can that trust be fully restored?
It can.
Okay.
But it takes time. It takes commitment on both parties. It takes transparency, especially on the perpetrator. They have to be totally transparent. And the one who's been cheated on has to also understand that, okay, we're trying to get to another space, to another place, right? So they have to learn to trust again. So there may be certain demands demands that they put on their partner, right? Like, I need to know where you are all the time. I need to do all this. So it may seem as if you're just overbearing on your partner, you understand? But maybe that's what it takes for me to get to a space where I trust you again. You understand? So it takes time, it takes commitment, it takes a lot of talking, a lot of understanding, and also finding out the root of why did you cheat the first time. I think one of the things that actually happens with couples is they lose their individualism in their relationship, they lose themselves, and then they get frustrated. Some people get frustrated and then they run off to cheat. Instead of like getting into that space where they understand it, where they understand themselves first,
Okay.
and then they can communicate that to their partner that I like things like this, I like things like that, I want you to talk about this and all that. But quite often they don't, and then they expect miracles. They expect their partner to know what it is, you know. So we need to go back to that space. Like, okay, what is it? What made you end up cheating? Is it the way I did this? Not that it's justifying it. And why didn't you communicate it? And when you try to communicate it, did you hit a brick wall? That's why sometimes you then need family and therapy and something to just help you understand each other, because at this point, emotions are high on both sides. The person who cheated will be like, oh no, I'll never do it again. They understand the impact of what has happened and they expect someone to just be like, okay, I forgive you, let's move on. But this person is still in a lot of pain. So you have to give them time. You have to get to that space where you begin to trust again. And it can take 1 month, 3 months, a year.
I was about to ask, can you expect a certain time frame, or can you dictate, Baike? It's been a year now. How? Get over it.
It depends on individuals and also the work done to regain that trust. You understand? One thing I've heard from many people is like, this is making me who I'm not. You understand? As a woman, I don't want to be the person who's constantly asking, where are you? What are you doing?
Let me speak to so-and-so who you speaking
Let's do a
to.
video call.
Oh.
Let's do that. That turns you into like,
Send me your friend's names.
Yeah.
Send me your location.
You're not comfortable in that space, you know. So finding that balance, you know. So sometimes that's why I'm saying it can take a few weeks. But when you decide to forgive and move on, you have to go through the period of asking the question. You have to go through the period of just getting satisfied that, okay, I understand what happened here. I'm now letting go of this. We're starting all over again. What are the rules of engagement? It's almost like starting the relationship all over again. And you have to be on the same page.
Is the cheating something we never speak of again? So now we've discovered that there's been cheating. and maybe we've decided to work through it. We've worked through it, or we are working through it. Is the party that was cheated on not allowed to mention, hayi kaloku wena you strayed, hayi kaloku you must come, I need to see the GPS on your car, I need to see this, I need to see. So is it something that we're able to talk about, or is it, let's call the lady Samantha, you cheated with Samantha, or you cheated with Tom, do we never mention Tom's name in the house again? Do we never want to hear of Samantha?
Human nature says it's difficult. Human nature pulls us on the side of, I still want to say, the last time when you switched off the phone, you were with Samantha. You know, human nature is that. Sometimes forgiving, not mentioning and all that is also for you. You understand? It's not only forgiving for his sake or her sake. It's for you, for your own healing. You're like, okay, I'm going to let go. I don't want to think about this person. I am trusting that my partner is doing the work for us to go to the next level. And then I will consciously decide I'm not going to mention Samantha. When something is done that seems to be leaning to that Samantha issue again, I'll have a talk with myself. Is this about Samantha? Am I still hurting? Am I still pushing about Samantha? Oh, is this genuine? You know, like he's genuinely at work, you know, he's genuinely doing something.
Because now people can't work late anymore because there was a Samantha in the picture.
Yeah, you were working late and you were going on business trips and suddenly.
Tom.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a conscious decision that you have to make, because quite often we are doing things that are hurting us. You know, you understand? The person who's been hurt, we keep hurting ourselves because we're like, oh, so Samantha looks like this. Oh, so Samantha does this. So sometimes you have to try and forget Samantha.
Does it matter if we know Samantha or Tom personally? Is it fine if it's some random Tom from the street or some random Samantha from the street? Or if Samantha is here in our circle, maybe not necessarily our circle, but, you know, Tom lives down the street. We've seen Tom at a local pub.
Yeah.
Samantha does somebody's hair. You know, like, I don't know. But does it matter if it's somebody we know?
It actually seems to hurt more when it's someone you know. Like, this is the person down the street, but you knew we were together. You knew that we spent, you know, you knew our movements, maybe because you live down the streets, you know. So it seems to hurt more, like, but the lack of respect that you knew this person. But we're not going to even blame just Samantha. What about our person? You know, like, that's when you hear people saying, but couldn't you at least go far? Not that it hurts less.
Because then I wouldn't have to see Tom.
Then now imagine, okay, so we now break up, or we are now rebuilding our marriage. We starting to do things going on the right direction. But here I'm seeing Samantha, you know, passing by, smiling.
And she's jogging down the street.
Yeah, she's jogging down the street. The constant reminder, Samantha is here, Samantha is here. Tom is there, you know, and you have to face each other. That hurts. That hurts even more. There's that reminder that's just right there. But if it's Janet from so far away, you might never meet Janet. You might never see. So there's no constant reminder, especially if you're trying to work it out again.
You know? How many times? Was it once? Twice? 3 times, damn it. Remember that scene? Remember that scene from the other, you know, at 8 o'clock, when 8 o'clock was still 8 o'clock. Remember that thing? Okay. So does it matter how many times they did it?
Once again, human curiosity. It will be like, so how many times did you do it? So if you did it over and over again, is it just a mistake? You know, if you're going back, so that means what are you going back for?
You liked it.
You know, if it's once off and you're like, the person then realizes that, oh, snap, this ain't fun. Okay, I'd rather be with my wife. I'd rather be with my husband. This was like, I thought it would behave. You know how the grass always looks greener.
And it's moss.
But now that way the grass is greener there, you think you keep going. But remember, it's also just fun. Now go and stay with that person and see the true colors. You see? So it's not that I'm saying that when it ends, I have heard people saying they then went and lived with the person they had an affair with and they're happy ever after. That one in whatever chance, it does happen. But if it's a continuous thing and then you want to come back, the question is, what were you going for over and over and over again?
If a person cheats, is it normal for the person who was cheated on to wonder in the bedroom, are you doing the same things to me that you did to the other person? Or where did you learn that from? Did you learn it from the other person? Like, can it impact a couple's sexual life?
It definitely does. It definitely does. In all the years we've been working with people, they're like, I just can't react anymore. I just can't, I'm just not happy, you know, because now you're questioning yourself in the bedroom. You're questioning what's happening. And quite often we've heard of stories where people are like, he would buy something for the wife and he's also buying the same thing for the side piece. He would buy...
they're wearing the same watches and the same perfume.
Exactly.
So that he doesn't come back smelling different.
Exactly. She goes out and then she buys him...
the same cologne as the husband.
Yeah, she sees the cologne like, oh, I love this cologne. She buys it for her guy on the side and she buys it for her husband. So you begin to question, like, where's the hierarchy? You know, you even want to feel more important. Like,
I see.
I'm actually much better. At least he didn't do this or she didn't do this for this other person, just to console yourself. But you do question yourself in the bedroom. You're just like, okay, maybe I'm not performing as well. Maybe there's something wrong with what I'm doing. Why did they keep going to that other person? So it definitely impacts the bedroom. And some people end up actually feeling disgusted with their partners. It's like, no, I can't do this. Especially if you hear that there wasn't any protection used. Then you're like, oh, okay, so am I safe? Am I okay?
Now health-wise, because it's now a different ball game, because
Exactly.
you've now compromised your partner's health, your spouse's health by stepping out.
Yeah.
Now, what impact can the cheating have on the family, as in the nuclear family, the children as well? Or is it what happens between the grown-ups is none of the kids' business?
Children are very clever. You know, these children that are born now, it's as if they know things that that we never knew when we were growing up. When we were growing up, we didn't even know that mom and dad were fighting or whatever. So even if we are trying to keep it quiet, they can see that dad is no longer okay, you know. They can see dad is drinking a bit more. They can see mom is a bit moody and snappy, or mom's eyes are constantly red. She's crying and everything. So it impacts the family. So when they discover what has happened, they may tend to take sides. It's like, no, you did this. You were wrong. You know, it just becomes a whole mess. You're traumatizing the children.
Should they be told, if mom and dad decide to go their separate ways after the cheating, are the children owed an explanation why the parents are splitting? Or is it enough to say, look, mom and dad are at a different place and we've decided to go our separate ways? Or should you say, yeah, because that one then did that?
You don't...
especially to the point that you're saying that they do tend to pick sides.
You find that at that point when you're splitting, can it be amicable? If it's nice and then it's like, look, I can't do this anymore, but we've got kids. We need to look after the kids. We need to co-parent. You don't want to badmouth your partner in front of the kids.
Because it's still their mother or father.
Yes. So the person cheated on you as an individual, which is sad that the cheating on you now has an impact on the children, right? So now you want to keep as little information as possible. Okay. But the older kids, you find they'll know, you know, and even if they know, you don't want to be the person who's like, yeah, Vele, this one, your father, he was useless. He was sleeping around. Hey, what? you still want your children to have a good relationship with the other parent, and that's the grown-up thing to do. But we are childish. We are petty as hell.
She says we are childish and we are petty. Call us petty lebel. Petty, petty, petty.
We now want to go and say your father, we want to go in.
Your mother runs after everything in pants.
Yes, your mother loves money. Your mother is a gold digger, and your mother is causing this. Your father is doing this. Stop just terrorizing these children. Stop terrorizing your children. Allow them to at least have both parents. Co-parenting can be a beautiful thing if done properly. You understand? So don't go and start saying, oh, your father, your mother, and all that. Just say we're not on the same page anymore. We're doing this, we're doing that. Don't use the children as a weapon for revenge. I got hurt, and therefore I'm like, you're not going to see your children. Children for what?
For who?
Exactly. No, you're not going to see them. You're going to suffer. Your father, and the child is crying in the background, I want to go with daddy. Like, you, shut up. Now you're also being harsh and cruel to the children. So can we protect our children as much as possible?
Now, the couple has gone through this infidelity issue. They've decided to go their separate ways. The one that was cheated on, when they go into the next relationship, what happens then? Are they going in there with the baggage from the previous relationship, now suddenly wanting this person to turn on their location on their phone, wanting this person to constantly have video calls, even when they don't want to, because you said you were going to the gym. I want to hear people pumping in the background there. I want to hear doof, doof from the gym.
Music.
So they can, I can imagine, be a lot of trauma that they're bringing with them to the next relationship unless they've gone through therapy.
Yeah. When you come out of a relationship that's been long, you need to heal.
Okay.
Healing takes time. You can't just go on to the next relationship because you will bleed on the next person. Now you're going to meet a totally good person who's faithful, who's wanting to get married, and you're going to be on their case. And then guess what? They're like, this person is too needy. And you're going to lose a good person. Even the perpetrator, don't even think they should just go into their next relationship. Much as they are the ones who cheated, there was a relationship here.
Okay.
And you were in this relationship for however long, there's some form of healing that needs to be done there. There's something that needs to be done before you get serious where you're going. Because you're going in and you're going to do the same thing.
Can a leopard change its spots?
Takes a lot. We need to skin it and then put a new layer of skin.
But those spots will still be there in the background.
See, there are some people who get to the point of, we've spoken to people who've got to the point of like, yo guys, it's just not fun. I just want to settle down.
Okay.
It's like, it was fun when I was young, but it really doesn't make sense anymore. I can't be chasing skirts all my life. I can't be chasing money all my life. I can't be chasing those trousers, those 6 packs all my life. I just want to settle down. So that's the part where it changes there,
Okay.
It's like the leopard is just tired of, chasing. It's now too old for all that,
The knees are giving in.
Yes, the knees are giving in.
So it is possible to change. Okay, but are there serial cheaters? The people that just are like, you know what, my dad did it, his dad did it, or the men in my family did it. I don't know how to undid it. I must also did it.
If someone did it,
I have to did it as well.
Yeah. You find that, when you talk to people who have, who cheat, and they're willing to be they're really willing to be open about their past, you find sometimes people are cheating because of past traumas. Okay. Or they're also cheating because That's what has been normalized. There are some people like, I don't actually enjoy it. Like, are you really enjoying this? Like, I don't actually enjoy it. So why are you doing it? Because we are boys. We gotta do this,
We must be for the streets.
Exactly. Or even sometimes it's trauma. Like I say, some people are looking for something in the arms of other people. They find validation in the fact that, oh, I'm sleeping with so many men, they look after me, or I'm sleeping with so many women, they are boosting my ego. And, it shows, and sometimes some of these people, they're just like, oh, you're so good. Oh, you what? They're lying. And they just want to boost your ego. And that's where you're just going around, pulling. So there are people who are just doing it because they just don't have empathy. They just don't have sympathy for the people they are with. Because it's painful when you find out that someone is cheating. So you're enjoying hearing someone cry. How could you do that to me? How could you do that?
I thought you loved me.
I thought you loved me. And then you go into it again. And then you do it to someone else. And then you break up and do it to someone else. Where much as we want to be all, macho and what, you're a human being at the end of the day. When you sit on your own and you think about it, are you satisfied? Are you also doing it for the crowd? Are you also just doing it for your ego? To test oh, my wife is complaining that she's not getting satisfied. So therefore, if I go to so-and-so and if I go to so-and-so, she's saying she's satisfied.
Now, you'll often hear people say, and I know how crass this is going to sound, but I'm going to say it anyway, because I know our viewers have heard it all before. You like steak, but you also like chicken, but you also like mokodu, but you also like fish, but you really, really like steak. People will say that.
Yeah.
And it may be a flimsy argument, but is monogamy a real possible thing? Or as humans, are we created to want the steak and the fish and the mokodu and? Or can you really truly be satisfied with one person?
I believe right now there are quite a number of relationships that have come out, like open relationships, and they're working for some people, but you really need the mental strength.
I see.
Because if I'm going to be like, oh, it's okay that my man can have someone else, and then they start catching feelings, and then they're no more there for you, they're now enjoying more on that side. Are you okay with it?
No, we catch flights, not feelings.
Yeah. You see?
Flights, not feelings.
Now, but when you're by yourself, you're catching feelings. But now when you're on Instagram, you're catching flights, So,
and feelings will be caught.
Exactly. So I think monogamy is possible.
Okay.
If I want you to spin around like this, teach me how to spin around.
I see.
If you want me to do this, because I love you, I'm going to try that.
If you want handstands, they will be done.
They'll be done, Me, I'll take my big body and I'll do whatever
I will do it. You will be on poles if necessary.
Exactly. But, teach me. And you should also be prepared when I'm saying, oh, okay, I also want this. It's not a one-sided thing, So, yes, we can say monogamy is not possible, but it is. It is. There are people who are there, who are monogamous, and they're happy and they're living beautiful lives. But they talk, they communicate, they understand each other, When they're in trouble, when you've got a headache, you keep getting a headache. And then what you do, you rush to the doctor. Now you keep getting problems in your relationship. Rush and get help. Go to a therapist, run. It's that important as well. Even your personal life, you understand. People always think, no, going to a therapist, going to a counselor, going to a psychologist.
I'm not going to speak to a stranger about my problems.
It's for people like this. It's for people with money. It's you get all those conceptions, But you find that just going individually just brings so much relief. Because I'm not sitting there and judging you like, oh, you did what? Oh my gosh, you're feeling that? We don't do that. We are trying to understand where it's coming from. Many of us have gone through little traumas in our life, and we don't understand why we're feeling what we're feeling. You understand? So if your relationship is monogamous and you want to keep it monogamous, you have to work on it. If you're struggling, the two of you, get outside help. There are support groups, there's therapy, there's family, there are friends. I mean, just be careful who you talk to. We don't want someone who will then tell the whole world that, they're pretending to be happy, but did you hear?
Meanwhile, back at the
Meanwhile,
ranch.
I heard. Did you
Well.
see? So just be careful, but talk about it, because there are many people. I'm glad there are many couples who are now aware of this and they are working on their marriages, on their relationships. But don't keep quiet. Monogamy is possible,
I love it here. I really, really love it here. Oh, we really love it here. Okay, there's no music playing, but you get the flow. Eh? Okay, fine. Okay, what else? Okay. Now, Shamiso, can you please speak to Omakoti? And can we talk, just to wrap it up, after a person has found themselves in a situation where they've been cheated on and there was infidelity in their marriage, how did they move forward? How would you advise them to pick up the pieces of their heart, as it were?
Okay. Feel your feelings. You have to feel what you're going through. Get angry. Cry. Spin. Do whatever you need to do. Have a drink if you drink, but don't
Break
stay
things.
there. Yeah, don't keep in that space, Allow yourself to feel what you're feeling. Do whatever you need. But you need to get back up again.
Okay.
And when you've been cheated on, now what's the way forward? Am I staying? Am I going? So if you're going, if you're staying, whether you're staying or going, either way, you have to start working on yourself. Okay. Love yourself. Don't blame yourself. Begin to love yourself. The other thing that happens a lot is we lose ourselves. I think I mentioned it earlier. We lose our individualism. My world is wrapped around my partner. So now my partner has done this, that has destroyed me. I don't even remember what I like. I don't even remember doing it. I've even dumped my friends. Suddenly, the single friends are not good enough to, to hang around with. It doesn't work like that. Begin to find yourself again, those hobbies, those things you've always wanted to do. Do some stuff alone. Do things with your partner. So there should be my partner does this, I do this, and then there are the things we do together. Find joy, in all those things. Because now suddenly I can't do anything with my partner because we are fighting. I'm so angry. And then what am I going to do? Sit in a corner. And then that's when you get people getting addicted to alcohol, because I can't sleep. All I'm thinking about is what she did to me, what he did to me. How about this? Like, oh, guys, I can't sleep. Girls, can we go for a movie?
Yeah.
Guys, there's a music festival there. Let's do this, let's enjoy our lives, Our relationships are part of us. They're not the whole of us. You understand? So you need to pick yourself up. You need to love yourself, and then create boundaries and know what you want as you're going forward.
Shamiso, thank you.
It is a pleasure.
Thank you. We appreciate. Hey guys, siniphathele professional apha. Hey? Feel your feelings, create boundaries. Your relationship is not all of you. It's just part. How, guys? Hey? Thank you so much for watching today's episode right here on SNL 24. So this season, Makoti Unveiled is wrapping it up on a very high note. So for the last time this season, bye-bye, Thandwa.